Two massive games coming up today as we take on the team that pushed us all the way in the Premier League last year, Manchester United, and also Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League. If we win both of these games, then this season's already looking pretty good. Hello and welcome to part 192 of It's Coming Home. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we've got those matches. The intro's ruined this intro. You know who we're playing because I've just told you. This is what's been going on since you were last with me. I said someone was due a thumping. Tottenham got the thumping, but we did then get thumped ourselves by Manchester City. We were down to 10 men for the last 10 minutes of the match. So it doesn't tell the whole story. It was 1-0 early in the first half. We were chasing the game, pushing really hard. And then Aleph got injured. And then it was 2 last-minute goals from City to make it 3-0. So it wasn't as bad as 3-0 at home looks. But still not ideal. And you can see I have a tendency when you're not there to do triple substitutions. Because I'm a monster. I'd do it in videos if I didn't think you'd all yell at me. Saves time. But we did thump Borussia Dortmund there as well. So there's been a couple of good results, a couple of iffy results. But the Premier League is still looking pretty good. First 10 games, 8 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat, 25 points. It's us and Man United pushing clear again. And once again, we need to keep an eye on Stuart Thompson. And who on earth is this? This is someone else using Akemo's name, because I can't believe there's a universe where Akemo is near top goal scorer of any division anywhere. But there he is. Akemo is second top scorer in the Premier League at the moment. He's scored more goals than Mira and Thor combined, I think. Let's just check if that's true. We're struggling to get goals out of either of them. So Thor has scored once all season. Mira has scored 5 times. So Akemo has scored the same number of goals as Mira and Thor combined. Let's go and play Manchester United. But first, I need to pick a team because we seem to have an injured player in it. Past Kev, what are you up to? This is the team. This is the team we just played in the Cup. We weren't playing in the Cup. We were playing Leeds in the league. And that was the team we played there. I'm keeping Lee in, actually, looking at it. He's practically fit anyway. And for a game like Manchester United, we want Lee in the team. So this is the 11 we're going with. We've got Powell in goal. A back four of Candemil, Beron, Lee and Mayers, Pancic and Cristiano in midfield. Sorelio, Costa and Goff behind Mira up front. And you know what? As a special treat, because you're all here, we're going to play Mira as a complete forward and see what happens. We don't have a central midfielder on the bench. Well, Ben Young and Mendes have both played there on and off fairly recently. So actually, you know what? I'm comfortable going with those two as central midfield options. They've both done perfectly adequate jobs recently. And Slomer, I think, has picked up an injury anyway. Where is he? I'm sure he was injured last time I checked, which is why I don't think he played against Leeds. No, that's... Where is he? We've got so many players, it's ridiculous. Hold on. Senior squad. We're hunting for Slomer. I think he's recovering from an injury. Let's just check I've not gone completely mad. He was injured. He did play against Leeds, though. And Borussia Dortmund. Well, there you go. Kev knows what's going on. Honest. One day, I will master recording a video, stopping for the day, and going back to it the next day, playing the matches in between and then recording the videos. Because my method of recording the video, then playing the matches, then doing the video fresh the next morning, I never know what's going on. There's a couple of extra ex-home players in this Man United team as well. We've got Dianzi and Thompson both in their team, plus of course the one that got away, Nick Wilson, who is United's top scorer at the moment. Not scored as many, scored more goals than Quinn so far, which is it's an impressive feat. We owe Man United after what happened in the last match. We do. I probably should have done that team talk assertively, but let's not worry too much. Why are we wearing the away kit today? There's no reason. Man United playing red, we playing green. No reason why we can't just wear our home kit for games like this. I understand why we can't wear the pink one, because that would clash with red-ish. But the green one, I mean, for me, I wouldn't be able to tell what was going on. Perhaps the game is taking my colour blindness into account, and it would just be 22 players running into each other constantly if we were playing in the green. So I appreciate it. But if we'd have been playing at our place, or Milton Keynes' place, I imagine we'd have been in green and United would have still worn their red. It's like our kits aren't as important as theirs. I would be very happy to come away from today's game with a draw, by the way. So the fact that there's been almost no highlights in this first half works for me. That's surely not a penalty. That was quite clearly outside of the area. If the ref needs to go over to the little telly to establish whether or not that was a penalty, he has issues. And if this is given as a penalty, this episode ends here and you'll never find out what happened from then on, because I'm just going to go back in the house. I'm not going to allow this to be a penalty. Is Costa getting sent off for this? Because that's also insane. So they've given it as a free kick. Oh, he's not even booked. Well, that seemed a little bit over dramatic. Just before half-time drama for the Sky Sports audience, just to make sure they come back after half-time. It was all staged. It's all a fix. Right, we've gone into half-time just about surviving. United have been the better team. It's quite rare for us to be dominated in a half of football the way we have been there. Almost every match we've played this season has been the other way around. Even that Manchester City game, we had the better of the chances in the first half, certainly until they scored. So it's a little bit weird not being ahead on stats. And to be honest, not being ahead on goals as well, because we've just been in excellent form all season. But it looks like we've got a little bit of a prolonged highlight attack here, but it does break down. John Goff not having the best of games, of course, a former Manchester United youth player, as I will mention every time we play Manchester United. But Flager's been in great form, so I think Flager and Thor are going to be coming on now to try and get us some goals. And we're going to switch that back to advanced forward for Thor. That will do for now. And then, you know what? To go alongside that, we're going to have 10 minutes of passion and hope that we can nab a goal. A win here would be absolutely massive. It would be unexpected, but it would be absolutely massive. And we look like we've had the better of the chances in the second half. It's another home highlight. And we've got Sorelio on the ball, finds Zupancic. Candemil's playing a little bit deeper than I would normally expect to see him, although he has pushed on now. He needs to get out wide and be a crossing option, but we've worked the ball through the middle really rather nicely there. Costa testing the keeper from range, and now we've got a corner and the pressure continues. Costa with the corner. It's Tianzi who clears for Man United, and it's Costa again curling it back in again, and now United looking to do a counter-attack, and Lee is there to cover. That's why Lee gets in the team even when he's not fully fit, because he is a monster of a defender. Right, what are we going to do for our final change? Where can we mix things up a little bit? Aleph not really fit enough to... You know what? I do kind of want to bring Aleph on, because Candemil's not having a good game. But Aleph is recovering from an injury. He's not been available for a little while. But he was playing really well. Look at what he did to Tottenham. He was just starting to hit some great form before the Manchester City game. I think at that point he'd become my first choice left back, albeit only for a couple of games. So you know what, we will bring him on, because I think he does have the potential to be a game changer down that left hand side. Explosive fullback, if he can just get a little bit of an opening and get in behind and set the ball up for one of the front four to tap in, but it doesn't look like he's going to get the opportunity to do it. Like I said at the start, a draw here is absolutely fine. I'm happy with 0-0. It keeps us top of the league. If United score here, I'm going to be very upset about it. Flager's back to cover though, and that should be the full-time whistle, because we're well over the time added on, although I don't mind if we play a couple more seconds while we're in the attack. But we don't. The game is over. It's a 0-0. Not necessarily a boring 0-0. I think we did all right, especially in that second half. We pushed them a little bit, but not losing is important, and hopefully we can go and also not lose to Borussia Dortmund, and then we're looking good for Champions League. We had an absolute stinker today. Really poor performance. That completely unacceptable result. I mean, we were away against Manchester United. Some of our fans are idiots. No change for the Dortmund game then, other than the fact I'm putting Mira back to being an advanced forward. He didn't do anything as a complete forward either. We need to find a way to get these strikers scoring. Or even, I mean, they're not even playing well. I've got two of the best strikers in the world, and I can't get them playing well. Although the players behind them are doing so well that it kind of doesn't matter, because all the goals are coming from here, and we're defending well. It doesn't feel like a Kev team at the moment. I'm worried. The only other significant change is that we broke Aleph, bringing him back too soon. He's now re-injured, re-recovered, has passed a fitness test, can only play it. We're just resting him completely. He hasn't travelled back to Germany, despite being a German. I think he's still under 21 international. He might even be a full international by now. He should be, but not yet, apparently. And, of course, this is basically the John Goff episode, because not only was he a Manchester United youth player, he is a Dortmund legend. He is officially on their legends list, having done wonderful things during his 6 or 7 years that he had at Dortmund. So it's like being the John Goff retirement tour, despite the fact that I think he's still only 28. He's still got time to become a home legend, although surprisingly still not on our favoured personnel list, despite the fact that Beron, who signed permanently at the same time as him, is. I'm assuming that's because Beron had the year on. In fact, Beron's an icon with us, which I still can't get my head around. Him and Candemill are the only two current players who are on the icon or favoured personnel lists. I think if I had to pick our two best players, I don't know that it would be Beron and Candemill. But I don't know. Who would you have on the favoured personnel list? So if you could only pick two, I think out of this group of players, probably Lee and I don't know, Mira, probably, just because he's been around a while. Or maybe Goff. Goff had a great season last year, trying to beat his man there, fails to, and now Dortmund breaking on us again. We can qualify for the knockout round today if we win, but obviously being 1-0 down makes it that little bit harder. Although we're both so clear of the other two teams that it should be us and Dortmund to go through anyway. We beat Dortmund significantly in the home version of this match, so it won't be a disaster if we lose this one, other than it costs a little bit more of momentum, morale, that kind of thing, when we've missed out on a victory against Man United. If we then also fail to beat Dortmund, that's a couple of defeats or a couple of failures to win, and the form starts to drop down a little bit then, and you can kind of get penalised for that. I've had a couple of people say recently, Kev, your form's always so much better off camera than on camera. Just to address that, if anyone is worried about that, come closer, I'll explain it slowly. It's because we play the big games on camera. You didn't watch me play Leeds, but you have watched me play Manchester United and Dortmund. That's why we win more of our off-camera games, because I tend to do the boring, easy ones off-camera and the hard, meaningful ones on camera. Mira's in behind here though, and Mira scores an equaliser just before half-time, an assist from Goff, a 6th goal of the season for Mira. And there you go, playing better as an advanced forward than as a complete forward. And as it stands, I think a draw is enough for us to qualify, or qualify in everything but mathematical certainty, because we'd be 6 points clear with 2 games to go over Dynamo Kiev. One of the games is against Dynamo Kiev, and we have a much better goal difference as well. Well, I'm not sure goal difference counts in the Champions League. If we score again before half-time here, that's really unfair on Dortmund. But it looks like... Oh, in fact, no, there is still like 40 seconds and we've got possession of the ball still. Beron tries to release Cerelio down that left-hand side and messes it up a little bit between the two of them. But Lee is across to clean up everybody's mess, as normal. How that man's not on our favourite personnel list, I don't know. Lee has been a superstar for, I think, 7 seasons at the club now. He might be only the second player of the series to get a testimonial, despite us having the likes of Sir Anthony Harris, Lerick Fernandez, Shane Phillips, who were with us for a long, long time. None of them were long enough to get a testimonial. Only Sir Mick Powell has had a testimonial so far. But Lee, I think he's still only 26 years old, unless he forces a move through somewhere else because he decides he's achieved all he can here. Lee is looking good for a testimonial before the end of the series, and couldn't happen to a nicer chap. Right, we've been the better team here. Keep doing what you're doing in this second half. I am keen to get Flager on again. It's the whole Flager... In fact, Cerelio's picked up a knock as well, so Young could potentially come on for him. The whole Flager and Goff thing, I need one of them to learn to play on the left-hand side, because I want to play them both in every game. Flager, I think, is our top scorer so far this season, largely off the bench. But Goff is so effective with his assists and his set pieces, and I guess the answer is play Goff at right back, but then we lose Mayer, although Mayer has just given away a penalty there. So would Goff have given away the penalty? We've seen Goff do bad things at right back recently, so he probably would have done. But Dortmund are back ahead in this game, which I think is probably my cue to start looking in terms of substitutions. We'll demand more for a few minutes first. Give it 8 or 10 minutes to see if just a shout is going to change the game. Otherwise, we've got Thor, we've got Flager, we've got Goff and Mira. we're not making that change, are we? Because those two who would have been the two who came off have linked up for an immediate reply straight from the kickoff. The ball ends up with Costa. Costa finds Goff. Goff squares it to Mira, and this is what you don't get with Flager. Flager scores more goals than Goff, but Goff is like an assist machine, and he's created 2 goals for us today. So I guess Sorelio is going to be the one who comes off, and we might try playing Flager on that left-hand side. But then we've got Young to play there as well. Lee again with another crunching slide tackle. It has left the defence a little bit stretched as he's had to go out of position to do it though. And once again, Mayer comes up a little bit short, and it leads to a goal. I think when Lee is playing as well as he is in the middle, he kind of has to rely on Mayer being able to deal with a one-on-one situation on this side. Mayer should be doing better there. That cross shouldn't be coming in. So I'm still left thinking changes. Our most game-changing players would come on in positions that have been our 2 best attacking players. It's difficult. Young, I guess, has to come on that left-hand side. We'll make that substitution after this highlight. Sorelio with the cross to Goff. What a goal! My word! I don't even know how to commentate on that. John Goff. Oh my word. What a match he's had against the club where he is a legend. And it's a lovely pass from Sorelio as well, who we've just talked about taking off. But for a first-time effort from Goff, I mentioned he doesn't score enough goals. Well, I said he doesn't score as many goals as Flager. That's still his 5th for the season. That's plenty for a winger when it's still... I mean, it's the 2nd of November. He's already on 5 goals and more assists than that. Can we play with 2 right wingers? Cristiano now, back to Burham. We haven't taken Sorelio off yet, and we probably should because we don't want to break him. But with the assist he's just done, it feels wrong to take him off. Zupancic now finding Goff, who wins the flick on, and Mayer forces the corner from their keeper. Goff and Mira are having a fantastic little partnership game today, where everything Goff touches ends up in the path of Mira. Right, let's make some changes. Sorelio needs to come off, so Young can come on for him. I guess there is an argument to bring Thor on and put Mira out to the left-hand side, but have you seen how well these two are linking up? I don't want to stick Mira out there. Candemil's having a shocking game, but Aleph wasn't fit to be on the bench, was he? Mayer, we've already talked about having a poor game as well, but we don't have Joksimovic on the bench. We do have Mendes, though, and I don't remember saying Costa very much at all in this match. So Mendes can get a rare opportunity because Drame has kind of usurped him as second choice attacking midfielder, which is harsh on Mendes after how well he played last season. So good to see him get another opportunity today. Just needs to take it though. What a game this has been. Imagine watching this on the telly. This has been lovely stuff. Right, I think we're bringing Flager on for Mayer. And I know I said I wanted those two to continue their link-up play, but I mean, I guess what we could do, make him attacking, make him the one on support, drop him back to support, get him attacking as an inside forward. So just change the balance of it slightly. Ideally, we'd have an inside forward ahead of Goff, but Flager is very much a winger. I mean, we'll leave it as that for now. And now we've got 15 minutes. Let's show some passion and let's try and find a winner. And it's Flager with the corner, which means Goff is going to be hovering in the middle somewhere, being the big giant that he is. Lee tries to get the crossover. He can do a lot of things, but crossing has never been his forte. But now Dortmund on the counter-attack, but it's Lee chasing back. What a player Lee is. Goodness me. Cristiano. I've talked a lot about how well Goff and Mira have played today, but Lee is having a storming game at the back. Goff with another cross from deep. Young hits the frame of the goal. Young still hasn't scored his first goal for home, and he hasn't come any closer than that so far in his home career. This is going right down to the wire. Cross comes in, Powell gets a hold of it, and this could be anyone's game. I don't know why we're playing like it's a knockout cup tie. A draw is absolutely fine for both teams, but we're both going for the jugular, and it could go either way. And now Dortmund playing it all the way back to their keeper, but our attackers are just chasing him and chasing him and chasing him, not giving him a minute's peace. Mendes closing down there, and then again, but it's a ball over the top and pressure from Beron leading to the shot going well wide. And in fact, it was a tackle that's given away a corner. He looks shattered, but he's taking the corner either way. Cross comes in, and I think if they want another corner, they haven't. It's gone out for a goal kick. And, I mean, answers on a postcard. Who's scoring the next goal? It's surely not going to end a draw. Well, I think it might be, but we've got 15 seconds left. Flager. He had a shot, the cheeky rascal. There's players lined up to knob that in, and he has a shot. You've got to admire their self-confidence. But it has ended 3-3, which I think is a fair result. And what a game of football, with some incredible goals, some fantastic performances. How Lee has only come out of that with a 6.7, I don't know, because he's been amazing. I think the time is probably approaching where Lee takes over as captain. If Candemil's place is under threat from Aleph, Lee is vice-captain at the moment, and I think it will probably be at some point during this season or in the summer that Lee takes over as captain, and he'll be captain forevermore because he's my hero. But there you go, we qualified for the next round anyway with a draw. Excellent stuff, and we will be back tomorrow with... I kind of want to show you Espanyol because we've watched Dortmund and Dynamo Kiev, and I do like to do 3 Champions League group games. Plus, being completely honest, I ain't getting all the way to January and getting an episode out for tomorrow. Now we've not got England to fall back on as an in-betweeny episode. It's either Espanyol and Wolves tomorrow or a day off tomorrow and come back for this game. I may as well put an episode in rather than have a day off. Does that make sense, or would you rather me skip days? Let me know down in the comments. There's going to be a couple of times, especially for the next 10 days or so while the summer holidays are still on, where you might get the odd episode that feels a little bit fillery. Tomorrow might feel a little bit like that, but the alternative is skipping a day. Let me know what you'd prefer. I genuinely don't know what's best to do. But if you have enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily, maybe, Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.